Average at Best Cornhole. In this video, we're going to be talking about Buffalo boards, Buffalo bags. We've got some good bags here with the Deadhead and the Ambush. We kind of like Buffalo. You know, we've been buying their bags for a while. They make a good product.
Yeah, excited to talk about these. I really enjoyed both these bags, which we're going to talk a lot about. And like Craig said, Buffalo, hey, they're one of the biggest names and probably one of the more polished companies that we've seen so far.
And Deadheads, I mean, they pretty much put Buffalo on the map. They've been one of the staple bags since they started. And then Ambush, I mean, that's their staple fast bag. And we kind of feel like these might be the perfect beginner bags for people because, you know, they have the flat fill, so they're easy. They're very forgiving. Same template, same fill, same weight. You use the Deadheads until the boards get too sticky, and then you just switch over to the Ambush. And, it's an easy transition, basically.
Yeah, it is. I struggled a little bit, which we'll talk about, but overall, they're very comparable bags, so most of you aren't going to have any problem going between the two. Getting into the designs and, scoring with it, I think we both kind of land on right around a 3. More so for what Buffalo's capable of. These bags look great, but, they're kind of basic with the ones we got. The typical skull and then just kind of the company's name and stuff with some cool graphics on the ambushes. But overall, Buffalo's got some of the best designs on the market.
They do. I mean, their website is just packed with awesome designs.
Yeah, they have some very creative people over there, and they're constantly coming out with new designs, too. That's what's great about them, is if you're looking at a specific bag, but you don't really like anything they got, before you know it, they're going to have a bunch of new offerings, and something's going to pop out to you.
And you're going to want to buy more bags.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
It is, but hey, it's worth it if you like them.
Availability of these bags, yeah, they were readily available. Their website is fully stocked. Like we were saying, a bunch of different designs, and you won't have any issues purchasing a set if you would like one.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever gone to Buffalo's site looking for something and seen it not available to order right then and there. I'm sure there's those situations.
Well,
but
sometimes some designs are, but not like a whole collective of
right.
the bags.
Not very often at all. Maybe just a new hot drop that everybody's looking for. So our scoring on the cost of these things, it's hard to give you a number, right?
It's complicated.
They vary quite a bit. When we purchased these bags a little while ago, they were more pricey. I think we paid over $100 for each one of these sets of bags, is what they were retailing at the time. And you were just looking and, well, what are the Deadheads at right now?
The Deadheads are on sale for $75 every design. And the Ambush are a little bit more than that, but it's almost like I think at the beginning of the stamp year that the retail price is up, and then they start doing all these sales, and then even the retail price is down, though.
Yeah.
And then they're on sale on top of that. So 1 to 3 bagger and somewhere in that range, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think we can give it. It's just what you get them for at the time, because these originally I think retailed for $115, and now the pre-sale price they're showing them at $85. So that's a huge cost cut. So big shout out to Buffalo doing that. Maybe they're feeling heat from some of the smaller guys that we're starting to review and other people are starting to find out there. Or, maybe they just got some extra stock. We don't know, but we love that pricing. Keep it up.
Or they made enough money to pay Big Brother, the ACL, so now they can actually reduce the price.
That's a good point,
and get some money for that.
Yeah. Whatever it is, we love to see price drops and bring these bags, more affordable to the average player.
Yeah, and even on top of their sales, I mean, there's more ways to save money, too. You coupon codes, you talk to one of their Buffalo reps, sign up for email alerts, you get discounts. So, they're really trying to make these bags affordable, and we kind of like that. So, yeah, like we were discussing about that website, it's just www.buffaloboards.com. It's a nice website, really easy to navigate. We appreciate that also. That they're definitely putting some time and money in that. It's almost like they must be paying a third party, or they got someone in-house that's real good with it.
Yeah, we always like to comment on, the quality of the website, and theirs is one of the best. It's awesome. It's very fun to just go, look through bags, very easy to navigate. It's got everything you need.
So if you get on Facebook, they do have their own page. It's just at Buffalo Boards. They will release, new designs coming out and let you know when there's drops. And they also have a fan page, which is at Buffalo Soldiers. Highly suggest you get in that one. Yep. A lot of people that are familiar with these bags, if you have any questions for them, you're going to find the right people to answer.
I get into how we broke these bags in. We went with what Buffalo Boards recommended, and that was their bag butter. Pretty unique stuff. It feels like a lotion. They got, pretty specific instructions of how to do it. You really rub it into the seams and stuff like that. The bags came out pretty playable, I thought. We had to throw a little more after that, but, if you do the butter treatment the way they recommend, you're pretty close to ready to go.
Yeah, if they have their own break-in serum or whatever, we suggest buying that. Why not?
Right.
You're already ordering the bags, just throw that in your cart also.
Yeah, and also that also helps you out with any warranty issues if it ever comes to that. You can prove that you broke it in the way they recommended. All right, get into the baggage on these bags, and first, we're going to talk about the speeds and what Buffalo rates them. We got a 9.5 on the Deadhead and a 9.7 on the Buffalo Ambush.
Right, so basically they have the same fast side, and we actually call this fast side the Deadhead fast side, Viper fast side.
Yep.
Pro. I mean, that's the very familiar fast side.
So template size on these is pretty much exactly the same. Now, we did feel that we experienced the Deadhead may have stretched out a little bit more, so it has a little bit of a looser feel to it. But overall, they're just medium-sized templates, and out of the box, they're the same size.
Yeah, it's got to be that Deadhead slow side, right? Because that's the only thing different, and they do feel a little bit looser and floppier than the Ambush do.
It's not a huge difference, but it's enough to feel it.
Fill and flop, like we said, the Deadhead, it is a little bit more floppier now than the Ambush. I mean, right out of the package, they're the exact same bag. And they both do have the same fill, and that's just the small disc fill. Buffalo was pretty known for only using that disc fill on all their series, and these ones still have it. They're switching it up now with a couple different series, but that's what's so great about these bags is pretty much you have the same template, the same flop, and then the same fill in them.
Yeah, it gives you great options if you're, playing different boards. Some boards just react different and stuff, so you can adjust to the boards with these two bags and pretty much still feel like you're throwing the same thing.
And now the Bagmanship, I mean, they're top of the business. They got a CNC. They're sewing all these bags. They got that thing tuned in. You're not going to see any flaws. Justin's not going to find any loose threads on it.
No,
so they're making sure to cut those off too. But they know what they're doing. They're putting out a good product.
Yeah, I agree 100%. There's zero thing to question with the quality of these bags. Get into the slide up on these bags now and, kind of how they played for us. Both bags, extremely forgiving, in my opinion. I enjoyed both of them. I do think that the Ambush would get a slight edge on it, probably just because the slow side on the Deadhead could give you a little different kick and stuff if you're not throwing as consistently. But overall, they're going to be very beginner friendly, very consistent to what you're doing.
Yeah, and it's that small disc fill too. I mean, as soon as it hits the board, it flattens out. So they're pretty much going to run straight on you, and they're not going to punish you too much. So we'll get into the whole bodiness, and they're both great. I might give a slight edge to the Ambush, I think. I mean, because it is really a whole body, and I think that's just the faster materials are known to fall in the hole a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree. They both have their own little advantage when it comes to going in the hole. Just like he said, the fast side, you get one of those ones that just kind of hang there, and sometimes just somebody hitting the board could cause that to slide in there. You're going to get those types of falls with the Ambush. And the Deadhead, that just a little bit of looseness, you're going to grab those corners and it's going to pull itself in a little bit better. So I really don't think one's better than the other. It just really, they each kind of have their small advantage.
Yeah, the Ambush, though, I mean, it is a fast bag, though, so you got to be on your target, right? Because if not, I mean, normal conditions, there's a pretty good chance it's going to go flying off the back of the board.
Your missed throws are probably going to be a little bit worse with the Ambush. Not really the bag's fault. It's just the speeds and your fault from the throw or my fault, however you want to look at that. Get into the collectibility of these bags. Both of them, are very good at collecting and stuff. For me personally, I think the Deadhead probably has a slight advantage in that simply because of that little bit slower speed. You can be off just a little bit more left or right and may still grab that bag. Versus the Ambush, it's so much faster to where if you don't hit exactly your spot, you're just running past. You may just hit the corner and turn the bag you're trying to correct while that one scoots by. Versus the Deadhead may have a slightly better chance of grabbing that bag.
Right. I mean, I definitely agree. They're both collectible bags. And I think there is a little bit of difference with them in the Deadhead with the slow side materials. I'm really starting to think that a slower materials grabs another slower material a little bit better and kind of takes it with it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just like scooting off it or scooting right by it.
Well, I think that the friction that's created when you hit that other bag, it slows, the slower bag's going to slow down more to create that collect versus this one doesn't care. It's just going to bulldoze right through it.
Right. And a medium sized puffy bag like this, there's a good chance, like you said, I mean, it hit a corner and just go right past it. Right. But, I mean, still, I didn't have any problem.
No, if you hit your spot, it's going to collect and go in.
Speed consistency, so here's like the biggest difference on the bags, other than the 5 and 7 speed on the slow side. The Deadheads, man, they're going to slow down in humidity. Big time. That material is well known for that. It's almost unplayable. But that's where the ambush come in. If that does happen, if you're playing, you know, in the summertime outside or whatever all day, and you start to get the moisture in the air and that, it's easy just to switch right to the ambush, and then you don't have to worry about that slow side slowing down as much. That 7's actually going to slow down to the 5 you were just playing with the Deadheads.
Yeah, I agree completely. You know, I look forward to, you know, our camp's about to get started, so we're excited, you know, to be playing out there, and we start in the day and we go all the way late into the night, and, you know, we got dew and everything else on the boards. So, you know, I'm looking, you know, to be pulling these ambushes out at night. So it's almost like daytime bag, nighttime bag in that situation, you know. Getting into the capable shots, I'll just first talk about blocking, something I've been trying to get a lot better at. Yeah, the Deadheads are going to be way better to block with that slower material. You're not really going to have to change your throw too much, just maybe where you're placing it on the board to, you know, put that blocker up. The Ambush, I am not good enough to block with that fast of a bag. So for me, it's not a blocking bag. I may hang one up there by accident, you know, but if I'm intentionally trying to put up a blocker, I'm probably just going in the hole or I'm going to slide past it. You know, I can't slow it down enough. Versus the Deadhead, I can. You know, that slower side really helps with the blocker. So if you're looking to play that dirty blocking game, you know, the Deadhead's going to be more for you for that.
Yeah, the Ambush, basically you're sliding that thing in the hole or shooting airmails with it. Other than that, I don't see you doing much else. The Deadheads, though, I mean, I could cut the Deadheads pretty well, too. So there's a little bit of movement to those bags. Other than that, I mean, blocks, cuts, airmails, slide shots, really.
Yeah. So overall rating, you know, on these bags, I think we're going with a 3, right?
I agree. I'll give both of them a 3. Yes.
Yeah, maybe a light 3, but, you know, a 3. I probably like them a little more than Craig does because I'm really, really learning that I prefer the non-carpet bags. So they're way more for me. So I love both of these bags. So, you know, a 3 all day, probably a little bit higher if we got a much cooler print, I think. But, you know, overall for, you know, what I'm looking for in a bag and what I've experienced with them, they're great bags.
Yeah, what I like about them is the interchangeability with them, too. I mean, like I've been saying the whole time, it's just, it's neat that they're basically the same bag, but with different slow sides, so you can just easily switch them out.
Right, yeah, and that's great for beginner. You know, if you're, as a beginner, you're going to be trying different bags to find out what's right for you and stuff, so this is a great place to start. Pick up one of each of these, and, you know, you're going to feel those differences and find out what's for you. And like we said, you know, several times in the video, you know, if you're dealing with humidity changes throughout the day and stuff, this is a great duo to have.
And it's not just a beginner bag, though. Because I mean,
for sure.
Experienced players like to throw these bags also, and they're familiar with these, you know, material combinations. So if you are a beginner and you get used to these bags and you take them to a switch or something, everybody else is going to be all right throwing them also because they're used to them. So, I mean, it's a perfect beginner bag, I think.
Beginner to, you know, either intermediate all the way up for the most part.
So will they make you better? If you're a beginner and you're new to cornhole, these bags are going to make you better. I think so.
Well, I'm going to agree, and, you know, I'll tell you about my own experience with it. The last time, you know, we were out when we were throwing these, to really get the feedback for this video, we threw a whole bunch of bags that day. Not just Buffalo. We threw all day long, and I by far played the best with the Buffalo Ambush. You know, I hit multiple 4-baggers. Half the time I had 3 in. You know, unless you blocked me, then I struggled. But but outside of that, by far the best that I played all day, and I think it was because of the bags. So they made me better that day. All right, and finally, are these bags worth the cost? At the current rate they're selling for, yes, absolutely.
Oh, definitely. Right now, yeah.
You know, if they trickle back up to that, you know, over $100 price, it becomes questionable at that point, I think.
It is, but if you've been, you know, thinking about purchasing a set of these bags, get them now. Especially if the Deadheads are still only $75.
Yeah.
Plus, Buffalo has free shipping, too, so that's $75. You don't got to pay extra for shipping.
Yep. So, you know, if you shop right and catch them at the right times, they're absolutely worth the money. Pick some up.
So like we always end it, everybody's average at something. If you're going to be average, you may as well be average at cornhole.